Hello everybody and welcome back to another HR Studios tutorial. Now today we're going to be working on our 2D platformer camera controller. Now as you can see, our character is literally walking off the screen and yeah, that's a problem, right? The camera's not following or nothing. So that's what we're going to be working on today. Now we're going to try to keep this script as simple and clean as possible, so just do follow along as best as you can. Alright, so the first thing we want to do is hop over here and make sure we have a camera inside of our scene. Now, if you just open up a brand new Windows or brand new scene inside of Unity, you should have a camera right here. If not, simply right click inside the hierarchy and create a camera right there. And inside of this camera, you're going to just make sure that you tag it as main camera. Okay, so once you have your camera done, let's go ahead and create the script. Now you can put your script anywhere you want, but I'm going to go ahead and create a script or put it in my scripts folder. So simply right click inside there and create a C# script and call it camera controller. I'm going to go ahead and open that up. So this thing is going to take a couple different variables. So we're going to first make a public transform, and this is going to be called target. We're going to create a serialized field, and this is going to be a private float called speed. And you know what, we're going to make that speed equal to something like 2, I think. We're going to create a serialized field, and this is going to be a private vector 2 called our x min max. And we're going to do the same thing with our y-axis, so serialized field, private vector 2, and we're going to call this our y min max right there. We also need to create a float, make sure that is a private float. And this is going to be our z start pose. So z start pose. Okay, so what these variables are used for, the first one is used for just finding the player. We can always adjust this by script later on, just in case, say for instance, our character respawns, we can always do something like that. We also have our speed, which of course determines how fast the camera moves. We have our x min max value, which determines how far left and how far right we go. And then we have our y min max value, which decides how far down or how far up we go. Our Z start position will determine where our camera is going to be starting, and it makes sure that we don't go forward inside the scene when we don't want to. So we're going to create a void start function, and inside here we're going to say Z start pose is equal to our transform dot position dot Z, just like so. Then what we're going to do is we're going to create a void late update. And the reason why we do late update is because late update happens after update, which means that all the things that happen in the scene will happen, and then we run the late update so the camera can just keep up with the environment versus staying consistent with the environment. You will see a lot of jitters if you don't do it this way. Okay, so we're going to create a vector 3, and we're going to call this new pose. And this is going to be equal to target dot position. So we're going to get the full value of where the player is currently located at. The next thing that we want to do is we're going to say new pose dot z is equal to our z start pose. So now we're not going to be adjusting the z value for our new position. We also want to make sure that our camera doesn't go too far left or too far right, too far up, too far down, So we're going to go ahead and we're going to create these clamp values. So we're going to say our new pose dot x is equal to a mathf dot clamp. And with this clamp, we're going to grab our new pose dot x value, and we're going to clamp it to our x min max dot x and x min max dot y. So now we have that negative value and that positive value using the vector 2. We're going to go ahead and copy that entire thing over again. So Control C, Control V, and instead of using the x min max now, we're going to use the y min max. So let's do that, y min max. And we're going to change the new pose position, or new pose dot x to new pose dot y. So just like so, dot y. All right, so now since we have all those positions set up to where they're going to update constantly, we're going to go ahead and change our transform.position. So we're going to say transform.position is equal to a vector 3.lerp, and we're going to be moving this position from our current position, so transform.position, to our new pose. And with our speed, we're going to set our speed equal to speed multiplied by time.delta time. Okay, so we now have the ability to move around inside of our scene. So we're going to go back over into Unity and let it compile for a second, you know, update, that's all the fun stuff in life. And once it does that, we're going to then test it out. Now keep in mind, you will need to make sure that you put the script on your camera. I have a bad habit of not doing that, so select your camera and drag your camera controller on there. We're going to drag the player onto our target position, and we need to figure out our X max value. So go over to your scene view, and you're going to see a preview of your camera when you have your camera selected. So currently our position is at 0, so we don't want our X min to go to 0 or go lower than 0 because we're already at 0. So then we drag this camera over and we find out where we want it to stop, and it looks like 22.25 is where we want it to stop. So we grab our Y value over X min max, and we're going to say 22.25. Now currently we don't want our camera to go up and down, so we're going to just leave those at 0, so just like so. Now I'm going to hit Control S. We're going to go back over into our game view, and I'm going to go ahead and maximize this view so y'all can get a full view, and press play. And here we go. Let's have fun. Now keep in mind, like I said, you will have to make sure that you do set up the collisions for your environment as well, but here we go. So as you can see, our camera is following our player exactly the way it should. So boom, he hits the max point, and we can run back and forth across this level, no problems whatsoever. Alright, I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. If you did, make sure you leave a like, subscribe, check out my other videos, and of course, if you have any questions, make sure you leave those comments inside the comment section below. If you have any ideas as to what you want to, of course, want me to post, or have any questions about video games in general, make sure you leave those inside the comments as well. Alright guys, I'll see you guys next time.